Okay, hello everybody. This is Wolf Movie Reviews, and I'm back. I'm back from the dead. I guess I've been away because there's something that I haven't liked about this service, AT&T, and I'm trying to jump back to T-Mobile, as and that's not what we're really going to talk about today. But that's what made me move away from making videos, because the upload is just 3 megabits per second on the upload. So now there is nothing I can do about that except go back to T-Mobile and hopefully get something good, because AT&T, if you're watching this, I want you to know that my service is just horrible when it comes to the upload, but when it comes to the download, then congrats, you did good. Okay, so let's get back to the topic of today. So I have now that Deadpool 2 is around the corner and it's out on May 18, and most of you will watch it before because that's who you are, and then some of you will watch it after that, after May 18. So now that Deadpool is right around the corner, I would like to let you guys know that I have 5 things I wish I could see in the next Marvel movies. Like something completely different than what we've been seeing lately, because what we've been seeing lately is just the same old thing. Spider-Man fights, I don't know, Spider-Man fights Doc Ock, or Spider-Man fights the Green Goblin, and that's basically what it is. Just the same old boring tactics, the same old boring fight the villain, fight this, fight that. There is nothing, I haven't seen anything yet that is surprising, something that is completely different, that instead of Spider-Man fighting his normal villain, he changes up something and he combines himself with, I don't know, he combines himself with Captain America, and then Captain America is part of his thing now, and Captain America's a bad guy or something. For some reason, he becomes a bad guy. He's possessed by some kind of evil powers or something. I just wish there was more of a thing that's different than what we normally see, because what we're getting is just the same old boring stuff. Just Spider-Man fights his villain. Spider-Man fights his villain. How many times haven't we seen that? Haven't we seen this? I mean, I'm going to say I've seen it like 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure when. The Tobey Maguire was the first Spider-Man I saw, because I was around that time, because I was born in '95, and I'm 23 this year. So yeah, but what we saw in the first Spider-Man was that Uncle Ben was killed, and that's what we've been seeing. It's a recurring theme. Like when Andrew Garfield became Spider-Man, then his uncle, which was Martin Sheen, he got shot in the street, and that happened twice already. Just on me watching movies on Spider-Man, I've seen it happen twice. The same reoccurring theme. Just Spider-Man, his uncle gets shot and he dies, and then Spider-Man is always, I could have saved you, but I didn't do anything. Just the same thing again. And then after, the same thing again. Just, I'm Spider-Man. Oh man. And Spider-Man loves someone. He loves another Gwen Stacy or whoever. And then, or Mary Jane, I think. Not Gwen Stacy. I think he likes Mary Jane all the time. But it's just the same boring, reoccurring theme. So what I'm thinking this time, I have 5 things that I wish would come into the minds of these creators of Marvel movies. I wish there was something completely different than what we're getting. So far, we've been getting the same exact boring theme over and over and over and over again. So that is where I'm going to say that I wish there's something different. So let's get on with this, and I'm going to try to put this all together into one thing. So this is a movie thing that I wish. So how do I say this? Is that I'm going to try to put all these movies together. All these movies that we've seen so far in the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Infinity War, and everything. So let's try to make this into a big ball, and we're going to try to put them all together. So the only thing I like so far of Marvel movies is that so far we've gotten Iron Man to team up with Spider-Man, and then we got Spider-Man to team up with the Avengers, and then we've gotten so far the Avengers. I guess then we haven't seen really that much yet. Just nothing. Just Easter eggs of the Duck. I forget what's his name. The Duck. Ronald Duck? No, I don't know what's his name. Just the duck that came out in Guardians of the Galaxy. You guys could tell me what's the name of the duck that came out in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I think his name was Harry Duck or Harold Duck or something like that. But if you guys know, please let me know. So far, we've only seen a couple of crossovers, and I have to say crossovers because that's what we've gotten so far. So the only time we got in crossovers was in Guardians of the Galaxy. No. The only time we got in it was in Spider-Man Homecoming. That was a crossover with Iron Man. But we've only got references most of the time during these movies where we say, oh, Homecoming, we got Captain America. Oh, but no. So this is what I'm saying, is that the only crossovers we've had was in Homecoming, where we saw Iron Man and Spider-Man both together. And then the next one was in the Avengers Age of Ultron, was when we saw Spider-Man, we saw Ant-Man, we saw Black Panther, and I don't know what else, but we had crossovers. So those are the only movies that I can come up with that were crossovers. Age of Ultron was a crossover. The new Infinity War, that was intense. That was a big crossover with every single character except for Deadpool, and without X-Men, and without X-Men. But the reason for that being is that they're two completely companies. One is, they're both owned by Fox, and Deadpool is just rated R, so I don't think they would have made that happen ever anyways. There was nothing they could have done for that. But X-Men, somehow Deadpool could have made that happen, but he decided not to. He just did his X-Force. But what I'm trying to say is that we've only seen certain crossovers so far. And that's the same thing that happened with DC. The same. I would like to see something completely different, something more original, because what we've gotten also in the DC side was just that we've seen Batman, his parents just get shot all the time. His parents get killed by this guy named I think Hush is his name. I'm not sure if that's him. Hush, I think that's his name. The guy that kills Bruce Wayne's parents after they leave the theater. I think they leave the theater or they leave a concert or something, some kind of play. Then the guy says, give me your jewels, give me your money, and then at the same time they kind of do that, and they still get shot and killed. And Batman becomes an orphan, and then he becomes rich because of his parents. But we've seen just the same boring thing over and over. It's like a circle. It's like we're gonna make this movie, but we're just gonna use different actors. We're gonna make this movie, different actors, but the same exact movie over and over and over again. But I'm gonna try to give you my 5 wishes for the next Marvel movie or something. So I got a comic book right now that I'm gonna bring out, and it's called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Why am I bringing this comic book out? To try to reference movies? Okay, so this channel is a movie channel. So in Marvel, Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. You can see. I mean, I don't know if you guys read this book or not, but I'm gonna show you the front. So as you can see, it's Captain America in the beginning. Then it's I hope there's not a lot of lens flare or glare. I mean, so if you guys haven't seen it or you guys can't see it, it's Captain America, Spider-Man. If you guys know who this is, please let me know who this is. Who this guy is. Then we got Iron Man. Then Deadpool has his sword, and he has the head of the Hulk. See? The head of Hulk somewhere there. Hopefully there's not a lot of lens glare, and if there is, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to have all this lens glare. So if you guys can see it, good, and if you guys can't see it, then I'm sorry. So what do we have? Okay, so in the back we have, I'm not sure if that's X-Men. I mean, that's Wolverine. That's Wolverine's head. If not, that's Hawkeye's, I think. So that's Deadpool having the head or the mask of Wolverine or Hawkeye, I guess. Then he kills the Punisher, and then he takes out the rest. So why am I trying to reference this book? Is because I would like to see something much different than what we have, even though I guess it's copyright issues and all of this stuff. I think it's copyright issues. There's stuff that isn't, it's parental guidance. It's rated R, and I don't think Spider-Man is rated R, but they could do it because if Wolverine was PG-13 over and over and over again until they came out with Logan, which was rated R, then anything is possible. But if they don't want to do it, then that's a big difference. But Logan was a good movie too, and that one was rated R, even though the previous movies was just him as PG-13, but now it became rated R, so anything is possible. So why am I going to reference this book? Is because this book has something completely different than what why am I trying to reference this book? Is because, I mean, I'm not really going to just reference this book. I'm going to reference comic books in general, because in comic books, I don't know how it's possible that they can bring any character from their mind, just say bring any character together, like there's been TMNT mixed with Batman, there's been the Justice League with Power Rangers. This is just the examples I'm giving. There's been Deadpool with Captain America. There's been Deadpool with Spider-Man. There's been Superman with Batman, which that is the only time. That was a good movie though. That Justice League. I mean, the Dawn of Superman or something. Batman versus Superman. Why did I consider that to be a good movie? This is my opinion why I thought this movie was good. Was because it was a crossover that we've never seen before. Even though you guys, some of these guys that have watched the movie have already said on the YouTube channels and their videos, they said that this movie sucked. But in my opinion, I gave it a good rating because there was many crossovers. I mean, yeah, there was crossovers with Wonder Woman. There was a crossover with Batman. Crossover with Superman. There was a lot of crossovers, which was good for that movie. And the same thing one with Justice League. That was amazing too. But the only thing that disappointed me was just Suicide Squad, because I thought Suicide Squad was the villains trying to take over the world, but it wasn't what I thought. I said, look, like this. I thought that movie was going to be a good movie, Justice League, because in my opinion, I thought, okay, they have all kinds of bad guys in this movie, and we'll see how they can wreak havoc on the Earth, how they can take over the world, and see what it looks like to have villains take over the world instead of good guys. But in the end, during the movie, it was a big disappointment because it went completely the opposite of what I thought. The bad guys ended up being good guys and taking down the evil spirits and evil villains in Mid City. But that was a big disappointment, not even close to what I thought, because I would have thought that the Suicide Squad would have been the bad guys and just taken down the good guys or something. But it wasn't anything of what I thought. So that was disappointing though, because instead of bad guys being bad guys became the good guys, which was completely different than what I thought. So that's where I'm going with. It's kind of leading up to my 5 thoughts. So my first one, and my very first, my very first wish is for Deadpool to try to team up with Spider-Man, or try to team up with the Avengers or something. I wish my very first wish was for Deadpool to team up with Spider-Man, because as you can see, Deadpool and Spider-Man are alike because they both have red suits. They both talk a lot and try to be funny, because Spider-Man does try to be funny, but the thing is that Deadpool is rated R, while Spider-Man is, I guess if you're trying to make this into a animated series, it's been from PG-13 down to the lowest, I think, PG, which is kind of sad because I wish that it was more violent. But I guess they haven't thought of doing anything rated R. They've just been doing the same boring tactics over and over to make a good movie. But that's how it is. So what are my thoughts? Is that for my first wish, I wish would be if Marvel could make Deadpool versus Spider-Man, or Deadpool teams up with Spider-Man and takes down the bad guys, or like I said, Deadpool versus Spider-Man, which Deadpool fights Spider-Man until one of them is gone or something. It could be another Superman versus Batman type deal, where they fight each other and then in the end they become the team and fight the bad guys. And that's something I would like to see. So what would be my second, which I'm just getting this off of my head because of what I've read in comic books, of what I've seen in movies, and what I've just thinking in my brain. So this is it. So my next one would be Deadpool. I mean, I'm really just hoping for something like this. So my second wish is for Deadpool to fight, to actually team up as a real Deadpool movie with Wolverine, because as I saw in X-Men, in one of the X-Men, I'm not sure which one was it, but in X-Men I saw that Wolverine fought against Deadpool, but this Deadpool was kind of crappy. This Deadpool was not the Deadpool that we have now, because in that Deadpool he had so much different powers, where he had the same claws as Wolverine. He didn't even have a mouth. I mean, he had a mouth, but it was sewn together, and he couldn't talk all that bad words that he was saying, all that smack to the team of Wolverine. So that was bad too, because in that movie Deadpool wasn't really rated R. They dumbed him down to PG-13, which was sad. But that was definitely a very bad crossover that got fixed in the end. And that's my second one, to have a real Wolverine team up with Deadpool. And then my third one would be, my very, very third wish would be, I mean, it's not going to happen. That's 100% not going to happen. Not ever going to happen. But there is a comic book out there. I'm not really going to reference it because I'm not really familiar with the name, but I could actually give you the title on the bottom in the description so you guys could look it up. There's this comic book where Spider-Man teams up with Batman. The reason he teams up with Batman is like, it's kind of dumb, because it happens. I mean, when they team up, it's the same old story over and over and over again anyways, even though it's a comic book and they try to keep it fresh, but it's boring because it's the same old story. It's like this. It's like in Spider-Man versus Spider-Man teams up with Batman in the comic book that I'm saying, is that I think the Joker jumps into the Spider-Man's timeline, or I'm not sure if timeline or during his like he jumps to his city. But during the timeline, I guess the timeline, because both Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman are all. I'm just referencing the biggest superheroes that have been going for many years. So Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman all live in New York City, but Batman lives by night, which is he lives in Gotham, while Superman lives in the daylight. He lives in, I forget what's called. He lives in Metropolis, which is during the day, which is confusing because Metropolis is during the day while Gotham is at night, and then Spider-Man is just New York City, which I don't know what's called. It's just called New York, I guess. But we're not trying to reference, we're not trying to go with what they are. We're not trying to give that kind of thing. That we're not trying to say which superhero is better. We're just trying to go with, they all live in New York City, but my thought is that, what I see is that I think the Joker jumps from Batman's timeline. He goes through a portal or something, and then gets to Spider-Man's side of the timeline, and that's how Batman ends up in New York City, where Spider-Man is at, and definitely takes down the Joker. They both team up, Batman and Spider-Man, to try to take down the Joker, and that's how it goes. So my wish for second, like I said, is the team up with Batman and Spider-Man. And my third and final, my third wish is for that. I guess we're still gonna stick with Marvel. So my third wish is for Spider-Man to fight a villain from the DC universe. I don't really care. I just wish that they didn't. He fought someone from the DC universe. That is my thought. Fight a villain from DC universe. If in Deadpool they were able to get the Superman theme song for Deadpool, then anything is possible. So I wish that Spider-Man fought a villain from the DC universe. And then my fourth wish, we're still stuck in my third wish, because in that I really see potential. I really see something completely different, something completely amazing. because somehow I think it hasn't been together. It hasn't been completely together. Where it's like where Marvel is friends with DC. They're not really that much of friends. They have to compete. They have to try to compete to try to make people think Marvel is better than DC and DC is better than Marvel, and like that, so on and so on. But like I'm saying, is that I would like that to happen. I would like to see Spider-Man fight against the Joker, or I would like to see Iron Man fight against, I don't know, Brainiac, or I would like to see something similar, something like what one superhero fights the opposite villain of a complete different of DC, fight a villain from DC. And that's the same thing that I would like from Marvel's side too, for like one of the superheroes, like say the Hulk, he fights against the Goblin. Or I would like to see Iron Man fight against, I would like to see Marvel fight, I would like to see Iron Man fight against I don't know, Dr. Octopus, or something like that. Something completely different. So that is kind of like I guess that would be considered the fifth wish. The fourth wish was a Marvel superhero fight against a DC villain. Or in the fifth one would be I guess the fifth one would just be a superhero fight against a different superhero villain. Like I said, Iron Man fight against, I don't know, I guess Iron Man fight against Dr. Octopus, or something like that. So that's how it would be. And my bonus wish that I have, because this is bonus, so in reality it's 5 plus the bonus that I'm giving you. So my sixth wish, and this is gonna be a drum roll. Here goes. My fifth and final wish would be for a Marvel superhero fight against, instead of doing like I said in the first wish, in my second wish or third wish, where I said two of them team up, it could be like Batman versus Superman again. So like Batman versus Superman, it could be, instead of teaming up, they both fight each other. I guess you could say that they both fight each other, but superheroes that have never ever been on the screen, just like say Iron Man fights against the superhero of Superman, or Iron Man fights against Wonder Woman or something. I would like to see something like that for my sixth wish. That would be amazing for something like that, which is something that I don't think will ever happen, but that's my top 6 wishes, I guess. My 5 wishes plus the bonus, which I'm going to say is incredible. I would like to see something like that, where, like I said, just have one superhero versus another superhero, but of a different topic, like not say of the same Marvel cinematic universe. Just bring something from a different universe into this universe and fight, and just go fight until they both disappear, one actually gets destroyed, and something like that. I would like something like that. I would like a team up, which one universe jumps into another universe, like always, because that kind of is played out all the time, and it just goes, and there you go. So that is my top wishes, because Deadpool, the only reason I'm doing this is because Deadpool 2 is right around the corner, and like I said, Deadpool has a lot of references, a lot of team ups, a lot of crossovers, and that would be cool to see more crossovers than what we've been watching lately, because it's been boring with. I mean, that's what really made me move away from Spider-Man when it came with Andrew Garfield, because Andrew Garfield was a guy that took over for Tobey Maguire, but he didn't really please me when I watched it. I was like, boring, especially that in the first movie he ended up saying, I'm Spider-Man, please do your best to protect Gwen, I guess Gwen Stacy, or I think in that movie it was Gwen Stacy, where the policeman said, please don't pursue my daughter, because if you're going to pursue my daughter, then you're going to put her in harm's way. And in the end, he did his own thing and got her killed in the clock tower. I think it was in the clock tower where he tried to save her, but the spider web wasn't that strong. It was too long, and she still fell to her death. But like I said, that really moved me away from watching Spider-Man. And then this guy, Holland, Taylor Holland, what's his name? I just know his name is Holland, but this guy he still hasn't pleased me the way that the original Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man did. But what else can I say? There's nothing basically I can say, because I'm not the actor. I'm not the one that chose him, but Tom Holland is his name. And Tom Holland is the one that I'm not really pleased with his version of Spider-Man, because he did the comic book version of Iron Spider. He did the comic book version of Iron Spider for Homecoming, which he got Iron Man to make the suit for him, which was kind of different. So with that, I would say that really disappointed me. I mean, I have more expectation now for this Tom Holland guy than for Andrew Garfield, because Andrew Garfield was just like filler content. Was just like, here we are with Tobey Maguire, and then we go to the end with Tom Holland, but the guy in the middle didn't really fill it up for me. So I have more respect for Tom Holland than for Andrew Garfield. So that is my thoughts on what I would like to see for the next Marvel movie. I guess you could say Marvel movie. I would like to see that. That's just my thoughts on what I would like to see in the next Marvel movie. So if you guys have any thoughts on what you'd like to see in the next Marvel movie, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will keep that in mind, and I'll make a part 2 if I need to, or I will do something completely different but relating to movies. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.